you were studying in the previous class?
I'm decoding and coding.
Okay.
Coding and
It is related to what subject? What's the subject name? Is this the subject name? Coding and decoding. Yes, Arpita?
No, ma'am. The name is ESP.
What?
ESP.
ESP. Okay. So I think that was about general awareness or what? Or it was related to some of your computational subject.
Ma'am, it was of computational subject. He taught us about coding.
Okay, fine, good. So you are supposed to, as you have sufficient time, you have sufficient gap between the classes. So you are supposed to join in time, your next class, okay? And please ask your teachers to conclude the topic within time so that you can have sufficient time to join the other class meeting also. Okay, that is the reason this 15 minutes gap has been developed, so that suppose any teacher takes 2, 3, 4 minutes extra, then also you have sufficient time to join the next class. And even you have sufficient time to attempt the tests. Okay, so, okay, fine. What happened? Only this much strength is there. Otherwise, you people are 15 in number now in BCA first year. But only 4 students have joined. What was the attendance status in previous class?
Around 8 or 9 people were present.
8 or 9 people were present. Okay, let us see. Let them come in this class also. Karthik has also joined. Yes, student, before starting the formal discussion, as we are supposed to wait for 1 or 2 minutes for more students to join, one information I want to share here. Today, I have arranged your class come attendance test, okay, in ERP also, in IMCRP also, and also I will be providing you the Google Form link. Okay, so please try for that IMCRP test itself. The questions are same. Okay, questions are same at both the platforms, and I suggest that you have to try in IMCRP account itself for your class test and the attendance purpose also. But if somebody faces some problem, okay, in terms of login or in terms of any other thing, then you can go for the Google form. Okay, and both the tests are open up to 8 p.m. Even in IMCRP, today I have assigned you the limit up to 8 p.m. Okay, so after the classes also, or after this class itself, you can attempt the test. Even for the Google form, I have assigned you 8 p.m. limit, time limit to attempt your test. So if somebody skips or somebody is not able to attempt the questions, the test in the IMCRP account, then he or she can go for the Google form test. Is this point clear? Yes, students? Am I audible?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So is this point clear? Are you able to understand this point? That
Yes,
first
ma'am.
you have to try for your test at IMCRP platform. And if you're unable to do that, then you can opt the Google form. Is this point clear? And see, if you have done with the IMCRP account, then no need to attempt in the Google form. दोनों में जरूरी नहीं है, ठीक है? एक प्लेटफॉर्म नेसेसरी है, बट प्रायोरिटी किसकी है? ये आप प्लीज पे अटेंशन टू दिस इंफॉर्मेशन. Priority is for the IMCRP platform. If you are unable to perform there, okay, by any reason, then you have to go for the Google form. Is this point clear? Yes. Are you able to
Yes, ma'am.
understand this point?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So I think only 6 students have joined till now of your class. So let us start with our discussion of our topic in the class. Yes, students, in previous classes, we were discussing about effective communication. Okay, I'll just make you recall that what all we discussed in the previous class. We discussed about communication. Okay, what is the concept of communication and why we are uh, discussing, or why we are in a state of gaining the information of communication concept. Okay, all these informations we discussed in the previous classes. So in that sequence we discussed that communication is we can say an inseparable part of human life. Okay, whatever we see in our surrounding, whatever happens, whatever is coming to us, whatever we are giving to other, okay, that all is resultant of one or the other type of communication. Whatever productions, whatever changes we are observing in our surrounding, that all is resultant of some or the other communication state only. Okay, so that is how we can say that human's life is totally depending on communication. Okay, or the life of human being is interconnected with communication concept. So this is the importance of communication. And also we have tried to discuss that particularly we want to have detailed information about communication in relation to organizational context, in relation to professional place. Okay, so that particular thing we need to concentrate upon. And also we have discussed that if we are discussing about communication, this particular concept communication, and you might be observing here an adjective good. Okay, earlier I also mentioned one of the term that was effective. Okay, so that term effective is more appropriate in terms of professional communication for the state of goodness in relation to communication. Good communication, we refer to effective communication only. Okay, so the point we have discussed that whenever we are discussing or we are concerned about the concept communication, definitely we are concerned about effective communication only. We are concerned about good communication only. Let it be it is a professional place, let it be it is some social space, some social place, or some other aspect of life. Everywhere, whenever this particular concept is existing, it is always related with effectivity only. Okay, so many a time it happens that the effectivity is not reflected up to expected extent, up to expected level. So there are various reasons, okay, which are responsible for certain type of we can say ineffectiveness in communication. So those are termed as barriers in this topic, those particular situations which create any type of disturbance, which create any type of effectivity, those are termed as barriers, we will discuss about those, uh, we can say, topics in later time. Okay. But here, this point, we need to understand that communication, if we are concerned about, we are concerned about effective communication. Okay. So we have also discussed the point that why effective communication is important. And students, one point here, those who are new students or who have joined recently can check the WhatsApp group also. I have forwarded this PowerPoint presentation also, as well as the study content in form of Word file for the topic. So you please check that WhatsApp group, and please check that study material also for this topic. And if there is any problem regarding uh, the efficiency of this meeting, please let me know immediately. Yes, students, are you listening?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So why the communication is important, that also we have discussed. At a superficial level, we will definitely discuss this point in details, okay, in relation to specific various contexts. Okay. So in that sequence, we discussed that this particular concept is so much important that we cannot even think of anything which is happening in human life without it. This is the role of communication. This is the importance of communication in humans' life. Whether we are studying, whether we are talking to someone, whether we are doing some work at home, whether we are doing some work at our workplace, okay, every time we are involved in the process of communication only. And there are various basic components which are responsible or which are essential for this process. That also we have discussed a little bit. We will discuss in detail one by one in later times. Okay. So there we have discussed that the essential components are, there will be a sender, there will be a receiver, there will be a message, there will be some medium, okay, used by the sender as well as the receiver, okay, in relation to that message. Okay, that message could be some information, that could be some other aspect also. So this is how we have discussed about all these things. And the importance we have discussed, that is quite essential for each and every action of human life on this earth, as a social being, as a professional being, okay, and at various levels. Clear? Now, as we have discussed about that, whenever this communication is discussed, it is always discussed in terms of good communication, effective communication. Okay. So how that effectivity could be evaluated, how that effectivity could be observed. Okay. So for that, we have to check this particular concept feature. Okay. There are certain features, there are certain behavioral things, or there are certain, we can say, actions which reflect this effectivity, this good communication situation. Okay. So, and as it is continually practiced by human beings for various works, so later on, collectively, it is termed as skills. Okay. Why the word skill has been used here? Because these particular, uh, we can say, expertise has been acquired by continued practice. Okay. That is why it is termed as skills. And you see the title here, features of good communication skills. And there is a question mark here. It means that, it means that, are these the features of good communication skills? or there are some more? Yes. Okay. This question mark means that are these only? Okay. Are we confined with these features only to evaluate this effective communication, or we have some more? Definitely, we have some more. These are few suggested features to observe or to evaluate effectivity in the communication process. Okay, we will discuss one by one. Also, this particular question mark has a different context. It means these could be acquired, are these already there in the person's communication process. Okay, so there are two notions of this. Only these are the features. Okay, in terms of uh, these particular situations, or in terms of that are these skills acquired, okay, or these are already existing in person's personality, okay, or the person by birth is having all these qualities. Okay, so these two queries we need to suffice here in this discussion. So let us check here. You have a good communication skills if you have the following. It means these are the features which reflect your effective communication skills or good communication skills. Okay, the word effective, that is more formal, so we will definitely focus on that. This only I made here that you can understand the concept. Now, let us check what is the first level, okay, to evaluate or to check whether a person is efficient in communication or not. Okay, so here, the excellent written and oral communication skills are one of the very important features of effective communication. Okay, it means if the person has good writing skills, if the person has good oral skills, okay, then definitely that particular process will be positively or productively affected. Okay, there will be no scope of, we can say, confusion. There will be no scope of any type of diversion, any type of deviation. Okay, so what do we mean by this particular concept of excellent written communication skills and excellent oral communication skills? Okay, we can divide this particular sentence in two parts and we can understand the informations in that way. Excellent written skills means the person, see, students, please note down all these points here. In your copy, I'll be asking you questions related to those. Okay, written means inscription. Okay, it should be inscribed on sheets, okay, or at a platform, whatever is available or whatever is required. Okay, so definitely when we are talking about writing, we are talking about orality, speaking, orality, synonymous speaking also. So whenever we are talking about all these terms, we are definitely talking about some language. Okay, so one or the other language is used for the writing purpose or for the speaking purpose. Okay, so once that language choice has been made as per the situation, as per the requirement, as per the purpose, okay, then this particular thing has to be taken care of. Okay, suppose somebody has to write a letter in English language. Okay, or somebody has to write a letter in Hindi language, or somebody has to write a letter in Sanskrit language. Okay, then the person should be well versed with the words, okay, of that language. That is the first essential requirement. Okay, it means the relevant vocabulary should be there. What do we mean by relevant here? That whatever purpose is there of writing that letter, writing some information, okay, developing some text, okay, related to that particular information only the words are to be used. Okay, and also it will depend upon the context in which that particular written task has to be done. Okay, so if it is some formal letter, one has to be quite careful about the vocabulary. Okay, one has to be very formal in the choice of words. Okay, some advanced words are to be used, that is expected. If somebody is involved in informal letter writing and writing to one of his or her friend, then one can use slight casual language. One can use slight casual vocabulary. So this is the point one has to take care of at the very initial level while the writing is done. Writing is performed by that person, that the relevant vocabulary has to be used. Is that point clear, students? The relevant words are to be used. Okay, as I discussed, that if the person is involved in formal writing, then the formal vocabulary will be preferred. It will be quite effective one. But if somebody is writing some literary text, suppose somebody is writing some poem, somebody is writing some story, some drama, okay, accordingly, because there the purpose is of entertainment and it is not expected that the exact formal vocabulary will be used, and it is also for the common public access. So a very general vocabulary is also acceptable. What I am saying here is also acceptable. But in formal writing, it is not acceptable. That is the point. But again, the relevant words are to be used in both the situations. Let it be it is literary writing, let it be it is formal writing, or any other type of writing. The relevant vocabulary is very important. That adds to effectivity. Okay, that adds to goodness in writing. Clear? Next point is that as some language will be used for writing purpose, so the grammatical structure of that language has to be followed. It is expected that the grammatical structure will be followed, the grammatical rules will be followed in that writing. And definitely, it is very much essential in formal writing to follow the grammatical rules, the grammatical structure of that language. Suppose one is using English language, then the English grammatical rules are to be followed. Somebody is writing in Hindi, then the Hindi grammatical rules are to be followed. Okay, and it is quite essential. I'm repeating this point. Note down, it is quite essential in formal writings to follow the grammatical rules. It is expected. It is essentially expected that one will follow grammatical rules in formal writing. Okay, but it is not that much required. That grammatical structure following is not that much required in literary texts development. Okay, because there maybe it is quite possible that the person is not well versed with the grammatical rules of that language, but yes, the person has a sound vocabulary of that language. ओके, सपोज कोई पर्सन जो है वो इंग्लिश के बहुत सारे वर्ड्स जानता है, ठीक है, मे बी डे टू डे लाइफ में उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट के अकॉर्डिंग उसने वो वर्ड सीख लिए, लेकिन उसको इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के ग्रामेटिकल रूल्स की कोई नॉलेज नहीं है, ठीक है, और वो एक पोएम डेवलप कर रहा है या कर रही है, तो in that situation the person can skip the grammatical rules in that writing, ठीक है, और वो एक्सेप्टेबल भी है. लिटरेरी टेक्स्ट में ग्रामेटिकल रूल्स का स्किप एक्सेप्टेबल है. क्यों? बिकॉज वहां पर्पस ही डिफरेंट है राइटिंग का, ठीक है. वहां पर्पस इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है? मैसेज इन्फॉर्म करना. whatever message has been developed in that poem, whatever message has been developed in that story, उसको ऑडियंस को, रीडर को इन्फॉर्म करना, ठीक है, ना कि कोई फॉर्मल टेक्निकलिटी सिखाना, ठीक है. दूसरा पर्पस लिटरेचर का क्या होता है? टू एंटरटेन पीपल, ओके, टू रिक्रिएट पीपल. So for that purpose also the grammatical structure is not that much important. Only the vocabulary is important, the context, or we can say the information is important. Fine. So that is the reason the person has to accordingly opt whether the grammatical rules are to be followed or one can have slight liberty to not follow them. Okay. So that is also one of the part of excellent writing, okay, or effective writing skills. Then the next point is that there should be an expression in simple, straightforward manner, okay, and also will add one more term here. It should be comprehensive also at the same time, okay. The message, listen here please, note down this point. The message should be simple, straightforward and comprehensive, okay. जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन है वो जितना ज्यादा हम सिंप्लिसिटी के साथ एक्सप्लेन करेंगे राइटिंग में, उतना वो ज्यादा इफेक्टिव होगा, ठीक है. और समटाइम इट इज रिक्वायर्ड ऑल्सो इवन एट द प्रोफेशनल प्लेस. जब सबऑर्डिनेट्स को कोई इंफॉर्मेशन सर्कुलेट करनी होती है तो उसको सिंपल लैंग्वेज में ड्राफ्ट करना ज्यादा इफेक्टिव होता है. व्हाई? Because maybe it is quite possible that those people are not that much academically efficient, okay. So if simple language में draft होगा तो message accurately वहां तक पहुंच जाएगा. Otherwise there could be a chance of distortion of message in the process of communication. So that is the reason whatever text is developed in form of writing, that should be simple, straightforward and comprehensive at the same time. Is this point clear, students? Yes? Yes, Arpita?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Sujit? Is this point clear? Are you able to understand this point? Yes, Sujit? Are you not there? Sujit? Okay, fine. Now, one very technical concept I'll introduce here itself in terms of excellent written skills in any language, that is cohesion and coherence. We will discuss about these topics in detail in later time. It is part of our grammatical portion, but here I will give you I'll give you some hint about these terminologies. See, cohesion and coherence. Okay, these are related to the unity of the information and the correct expression of the information. Okay, it means whatever information is developed, whatever text is developed, whatever paragraph is developed, वो proper sequence में है, ठीक है, और correctly developed है, ठीक है. एक connection है प्रीवियस सेंटेंस का और नेक्स्ट सेंटेंस का एक कनेक्शन है. ठीक है, इस तरीके से इम्प्रेशन रीडर को या ऑडियंस को नहीं मिलता कि अच्छा ये सेंटेंस क्यों बोला. ठीक है, the audience or the reader is able to connect the informations. Okay, this is coherence and cohesion. और जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, पर्टिकुलरली हम फॉर्मल कम्युनिकेशन के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में इसको ज्यादा रिलेट कर रहे हैं, सो आपको भी उसी लेवल पे इसको अंडरस्टैंड करना पड़ेगा. पैरेलल जहां भी लिटरेरी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हमें थोड़ा बहुत इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए, आई विल गाइड यू फॉर दैट ऑल्सो टाइम टू टाइम, but particularly our focus is on formal communication. So in formal communication, it is also expected that whatever paragraph is developed, whatever text, whatever information is developed, that should be correctly developed in terms of words, in terms of grammar, in terms of sequence. Okay, so that is also part of cohesion. Okay, so we will talk in detail about these, but here slight information you must definitely have, that cohesion and coherence is also part of excellent written skills. Okay, it is very important part of that. Now, come to this particular part, oral skills. Okay, oral is related to what? Speaking. See, one point here I'll make, students, that many a time you might be uh, listening some word like verbal. Okay, have you ever listened to certain type of terminology, verbal, V-E-R, V-E-R, B-A-L, verbal. And many a times you will listen that people are replacing verbal with this particular context. Okay, here there is an error of this type of use. What is the error? Verbal means written and oral both. Is this point clear? Are you able to understand this? Verbal means written and oral both. Writing and speaking both. Okay, but as we have discussed the writing part earlier, now we are discussing the oral part. Or discussing about the oral skills. So it is slightly different, and verbal could not be replaced by this itself only. Okay, if verbal word is used, it is referred for both oral as well as written. Fine. So as we are concerned about this particular part now, oral means creating sounds in a language. Okay, see, in this particular state, you please listen to, yesterday also we had discussion in our lab class that when we talk about speaking, when we talk about orality, we are concerned about sounds. Okay, I am uttering English sounds. If I am speaking in Hindi, I am uttering Hindi sounds. मैं हिंदी बोल रही हूँ, तो ये हिंदी के sounds आप सुन रहे हैं बीच में. ठीक है, जब मैं इंग्लिश बोल रही हूँ तो आप इंग्लिश के साउंड सुन रहे हैं. ठीक है, सो स्पीकिंग से एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रिलेटेड कॉन्सेप्ट है, दैट इज साउंड. ओके, साउंड ऑफ अ लैंग्वेज. आई एम प्रोड्यूसिंग इंग्लिश साउंड्स एट प्रेजेंट. Sometime I am producing Hindi sounds. Fine. So if that is related to sound, then many of the points immediately strikes to our brain. Okay, what are those points? Pronunciation part, volume part, okay, the accent part, all these points immediately comes to our mind. Okay, so definitely, as these are the very basic parts of this particular level of communication, so the sounds of that language should be relevant. Again, this is the first criteria for oral skills effectivity. Okay, there should be relevant words, relevant sounds. Okay, and the next thing is those sounds should be correctly pronounced. Okay, the pronunciation should be correct one, so that there could be less confusion, okay, or there could be more clarity in the information. If sound correct nahi hoga, ठीक है, तो क्या होगा? इंफॉर्मेशन करेक्टली रिसीवर तक नहीं रिसीव होगी, ठीक है, या नहीं पहुंचेगी वहां तक. तो इसके लिए क्या जरूरी है कि जो भी लैंग्वेज ऑप्ट की है पर्टिकुलर पर्सन ने, ठीक है, ओरल कम्युनिकेशन के लिए, उस लैंग्वेज के साउंड्स को वो करेक्टली प्रोनाउंस करे. ठीक है, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज द वॉल्यूम. वॉल्यूम शुड ऑल्सो बी अकॉर्डिंगली डेवलप्ड. ठीक है, सपोज आप अपने फ्रेंड से बात कर रहे हो, फ्रेंड आपके बिल्कुल पास में बैठा है, ठीक है, सो देन आपको बहुत लाउडर वॉल्यूम ऑप्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ठीक है, आप एक बहुत कंफर्टेबल लिसनिंग वॉल्यूम लेवल पे भी उससे आप बात कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, बट एट द सेम टाइम इफ आप कोई फॉर्मल ग्रुप डिस्कशन एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं जिसमें 10 to 15 पीपल आर सिटिंग अराउंड यू, okay, that time the volume should be of that level that each and every participant in that group, all those 10 to 15 members participants should be able to listen the sound. ठीक है, तो अकॉर्डिंगली वॉल्यूम का डेवलपमेंट करना होता है. ठीक है, और इससे ज्यादा, और सपोज कोई पॉलिटिशियन जो है वो स्पीच दे रहा है, ठीक है, तो उसको, और पब्लिक जो है वो थाउजेंड एंड थाउजेंड्स में है वहां पे, पब्लिक स्पीकिंग के एक कॉन्टेक्स्ट का ये एग्जाम्पल है. तो सपोज वहां थाउजेंड एंड थाउजेंड नंबर्स में पीपल प्रेजेंट है. ठीक है, तो एक तो जो है क्या होगा, स्पीकर अपना वॉल्यूम हाईएस्ट रखेगा, इसके बाद भी फिजिकल एसेसरीज, सपोज माइक है, साउंड सिस्टम है, ठीक है, other physical resource भी use करेगा so that the sound could be reached to each and every person present there. ठीक है, तो वो एक important चीज है, because sound नहीं पहुंचेगा तो clarity नहीं होगी information की. ठीक है, तो that is the point. Now the next is accent. ठीक है, जो भी language एक person opt करता है, ठीक है, for the speaking purpose, the accent should be appropriate, the accent should be comprehensive. Okay, see, for example, in English you might have observed or you might have learned earlier also, and if you do not know, then this is the information, that we have lot many accents in English language. Okay, as per the region wise we have differences in accent, and the commonly or the worldwide accepted accents are the British accents and the American accents in English language. ठीक है, तो किसी को भी if English में बात करनी है तो जो है इफेक्टिविटी क्या कहती है, या इफेक्टिविटी में क्या एक्सपेक्टेड है कि the person will either opt for British accent or will opt for American accent. Okay, but somehow there are certain influences. Okay, many a time we observe that let it be the person is speaking English, let it be this person is speaking some other language, but mother tongue influence is also there, and also this information is automatically transferred to the audience, okay, that the person belongs to so and so region. ठीक है, तो लैंग्वेज के साथ साथ किस रीजन को वो पर्सन बिलोंग करता है, ये इंफॉर्मेशन भी कई बार ऑडियंस को पता चल जाती है। ठीक है, ये कैसे होता है, जो एक्सेंट यूज कर रहा है स्पीकर उसकी वजह से। ठीक है, इवन द इंडियन एक्सेंट इज अ पॉपुलर टर्म, ओके, Latin accent, so many accents are there in English, okay, so even if हम इंडिया की बात करें, तो सपोज कोई पर्सन साउथ इंडिया से है या कोई पर्सन जो है आपका नॉर्दर्न एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ एरिया से है, ठीक है, वो लेट इट बी द पर्सन इज स्पीकिंग इंग्लिश, लेकिन आपको जैसे ही वो इंग्लिश बोलना शुरू करेगा, ठीक है, यू विल गेट टू नो द इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ द रीजन ऑल्सो। ठीक है, आपको रीजन की इंफॉर्मेशन भी ऑटोमेटिकली समझ में आने लगेगी। यू विल गेस एज एन ऑडियंस, यू विल गेस द पर्सन मे बी फ्रॉम साउथ इंडिया, मे बी फ्रॉम चेन्नई, मे बी फ्रॉम आंध्रा। ठीक है, कैसे? बिकॉज एक्सेंचुअल डिफरेंस है, जो स्टैंडर्ड एक्सेंट्स है ब्रिटिश और अमेरिकन, उससे डिफर कर रहा है उनका एक्सेंट। ठीक है, वो किस वजह से है? मदर टंग इन्फ्लुएंस की वजह से। ठीक है, तो मे बी किसी में ये मदर टंग इन्फ्लुएंस जो है वो ज्यादा एक्सटेंट तक इंटरफेयर करता है जो लैंग्वेज पर्सन स्पीकर यूज कर रहा है। तो इसमें इस सिचुएशन में क्या होता है, जो एक्चुअली इंफॉर्मेशन कही गई स्पीकर से वो समझ में नहीं आती ऑडियंस को। ठीक है, मैं आपको इस टाइप के कुछ एग्जांपल्स आपको लैब क्लास में आपको इसके वीडियोस शेयर करूंगी। ठीक है, तो आपको ज्यादा चीजें क्लियर होंगी। ठीक है, so because of that, then also there is a gap in the communication process. So with this, I'll conclude the session here itself today. I'll be sharing the link for the class test. If you have any query related to today's discussion of ours, you can just tell me or you can ask. And do not worry about the syllabus and other rest of the things, as this is the very starting period of these type of classes. So that is why I'm moving slowly, okay? And we'll be able to complete our syllabus. We will complete all the things in time. So need not to worry about that. If you have any questions, I have forwarded the link of the Google form, and the test code is 202000. The test code of ERP for today's class is 202000 9599 9599. Okay, this is the ERP code for the test. I am writing it down here itself in chat box. Yes, students, any question you have? What happened?
No, ma'am.
No question. So, is this point understood, that the writing and the oral effectivity means there should be correct use of words, there should be correct pronunciation of the words, okay, and it is expected in both the manners of communication that the person is following the grammatical structure of that language, the grammatical rules of that language, and also it is expected that the information is arranged or it is developed in a simple, straightforward and comprehensive manner. Okay, information जो है वो ऑडियंस को या रीडर को समझ में आए, इस तरीके से डेवलप की हुई है। इसके अलावा जो टेक्निकल वर्ड्स हमने आज डिस्कस किए वो cohesion and coherence. Okay, that is related to unity and the correctness of expression only. These are the very technical, grammatical, and compositional at the same time aspects, okay, of expression. So that we will discuss in detail in later time. यहाँ पे आपको इतना sufficient है समझना कि cohesion and coherence is related to unity of the information. Unity of the information का क्या मतलब है कि there is a connectivity among the sentences. ठीक है, एक सेंटेंस के बाद जैसा कि ऑडियंस या रीडर की एक्सपेक्टेशन है अकॉर्डिंगली दूसरा सेंटेंस मेंशन है, अकॉर्डिंगली दूसरी इंफॉर्मेशन मेंशन है, और इस तरीके से जो है वो पैराग्राफ डेवलप्ड है. तो दैट इज टर्म्ड एज यूनिटी. और वो ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट हो, ठीक है, या इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो करेक्टली स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड मैनर में ट्रांसफर्ड है रिसीवर को. तो दैट इज ऑल्सो फीचर ऑफ कोहेशन एंड कोहेरेंस. सो इफ ये चीजें हैं किसी पैराग्राफ में तो ये एक पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट है या ये एक इफेक्टिविटी का इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर है. ठीक है, सो दैट मच ओनली आई विल बी डिस्कसिंग टुडे with you people. Yes, you are open for the questions. If you want to ask anything, Ishwar,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you mean by oral skills?
Oral skills.
Oral skills.
You should have correct pronunciation
Yes.
and
Correct pronunciation of what?
what words you are speaking.
Yes. Words which we are using of a language, those should be correctly pronounced. Yes. Very nice. Okay. What else? What else is related to oral skills?
And you should adjust your volume according
Yes.
to the
Okay. Very nice. Okay. The adjustment or the development of the volume should be according to the context. Okay. What else?
and the word you are using should
Huh?
be
Huh?
relevant to the message what you are trying to convey to the receiver.
Yes. Okay. Relevant vocabulary or the relevant words according to context should be used. Yes. Very nice. Okay. The very important thing I discussed in relation to oral skills effectivity is the accent. Okay. The standard accent should be used by the speaker. Okay. So there could be a less scope of confusion. There could be a less scope of misunderstanding. Okay. अदरवाइज क्या होगा, इवन आप कभी ऑब्जर्व करेंगे, मैं आपको इवन लैब क्लासेस में ये सारे जो है वीडियोस आपको आपके साथ शेयर भी करूंगी कि let it be, you will listen to some speaker are speaking in English, but you are not able to understand or get a single word from that complete speech. Okay, because of the very complex because of the very complex accent these speakers are using. ठीक है, ये स्पीकर जो है वो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स एक्सेंट यूज कर रहे हैं, तो इसकी वजह से क्या होगा, क्या हो सकता है, ये हो सकता है किन्हीं ऑडियंस के साथ कि दे आर नॉट एबल टू गेट इवन अ सिंगल वर्ड फ्रॉम द कंप्लीट स्पीच, समझ में नहीं आया एक वर्ड भी कि क्या बोला. ठीक है, सो in that case it is always expected at least at formal place, because वहां people जो है वो diverse background से आते हैं, diverse places से आते हैं. ठीक है, तो वहां पे एक standard accent, because सब को पता होता है वो स्टैंडर्ड एक्सेंट, सबने उसको फॉर्मल एजुकेशन में या किसी और लेवल से उसको लर्न किया होता है, दे आर फेमिलियर विद दैट स्टैंडर्ड एक्सेंट, सो दे कैन learn from that. Okay, or they can easily understand that इफ कोई कॉम्प्लेक्स या कोई स्पेसिफिक एक्सेंट हम यूज करेंगे या किसी दूसरे एक्सेंट का हम इन्फ्लुएंस उस पर्टिकुलर लैंग्वेज में करेंगे तो देयर विल बी प्रॉब्लम इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. ओके, वेरी नाइस, very good, you were very much attentive. Okay, fine students, you can leave as you might be having other class also. And please remember my point. First, go for the ERP test. If you are unable to submit your test there, then you can go for the Google Form test. Okay. If you are submitting your test in the ERP, then no need to go for the Google test. Is this point clear? समझ में आ गया
Yes,
आपको?
ma'am.
हाँ?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now you can leave the meeting.